If you could change one thing about your life or the world around you, what would that be? Social impact entrepreneur and chef Mark Brand wants you to think about that. His new podcast, Better with Mark Brand, hopes to inspire some ideas that might help you find a purpose and become a better version of yourself. Mark is joining us this morning. Welcome back to the show.
Great to be back with you. Thank you for having me.
It's nice to see you. Okay, I want to get the backstory here. How did this idea come together for this podcast?
Absolutely. So I was doing a keynote talk in Toronto around mental health, specifically to professionals from the food and beverage industry. And a producer stopped me in the elevator, classic story, put the arm in the door and said, hey, we need to talk about these ideas more, and people need access to these conversations. And that was about 2.5 years ago. And so we developed the show very specifically based on tools. That's the centering design point, which is conversations are cool, inspiration is cool. But if you can't walk away learning something that you can apply to your daily life, then I feel like I've wasted your time.
And what's the point, right? So you've got some pretty famous Canadian guests on the show. Let's start with Arden. Jan talks to you about the importance of asking for help. What can you tell me about that conversation?
Yeah, Jan's a big sister and has been a huge support to our organization, A Better Life Foundation, for years. And learning more about her personal story, I think, allows people to see themselves even further in her. You know what I mean? So the music that she's provided to us for over 3 decades is beautiful, but knowing that Jan's personal struggles are very much like ours, and just hearing it through her voice and through her storytelling is really special.
She's such an amazing person and a great storyteller, too. And she has so much to say. Now, in another episode, I understand George Strombo opens up to you about the power of music and how it brings all of us together. What did he mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, Strumbo and I do an almost 3-hour conversation, and I think that George, flipping it on George and having him on the other side of the microphone, talking about the healing power of music, but also what it does for all of us in that same storytelling way is really powerful. But George also talks about his childhood, his dedication to the craft, how he actually found his way to the work, and I think it's incredibly powerful.
What makes the Better podcast different from other shows about self-empowerment and global change, would you say?
I think that a lot of the time we talk about theory. In those other shows, we talk about theory, which is, here's the 5 things that, are the overlying causes of X, Y, or Z. Here we take that and we can pull it out. So my friend Dr. Gabor-Mate and I did a whole episode on addiction, on trauma, on relating to people in your life that are addicted. And he tells us through personal stories of his own, through Nazi-occupied Germany and Poland, about his own life and how that actually impacted him and the effects of it long term. So you don't just get the tools, you get the story, and you can understand how the two weave together. And then we make sure that you can understand how to take those tools home and apply them to your own life.
And what about you? What was the process like for you being on that side of the mic asking all the questions?
Oh my God, what an honor. I feel like I've got a tiger by the tail a lot of the time. And I also get lost in the conversations. These are mainly friends of mine or associates or peers that I've got to either work adjacent to or closely with over the last couple decades. And they surprise me with their heart, with their brilliance, with their intellect, just bringing it all forward and how hard they show up. So being on this side, I also feel the responsibility to make sure that you get the best of them, and that I'm holding the space with the honor that it deserves. And it's been a ton of fun.
I can't wait. A reminder, the podcast is called Better with Mark Brand. Mark, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.